I think we're live. Good evening, everybody. This is Rob from Punk Rock Saves Lives, coming to you live this beautiful evening from Salty Camper in Nashville, Tennessee. My old home. Had to drive here from Colorado over the last day and a half, and it's unfortunately I have to give the two corgis back to their other mom for her 3 months. It stinks, but it's also the right thing to do. So we trade off every 3 months, so they get split custody around the world. Yes, we split custody on our corgis, but that's okay. But it's pretty cool sitting outside of a restaurant bar that a friend of mine is hosting trivia tonight. So we stopped here to have dinner with him, maybe play a little trivia before we head on towards Pittsburgh area tomorrow to check on Tina's grandfather, and we're going to be there for Father's Day for her father and her grandfather, so that's pretty rad. As usual, I introduce everybody when we get here every week. We're hoping everybody out there in the world's doing good. Above me, as usual, Mr. Dan Falkenthal, the man behind the scenes and the guy that gives you all the PMA stuff going all the time, the mental health. He hosts Monday nights with our mental health group. How's Dan this week?
Dan's doing better now that he's in this. This is everything to be around you guys, so I'm actually doing much better.
I think you told me earlier you were feeling a little sick today, so
yeah.
Hang in there. If you need to bolt, obviously, you can do what you got to do.
Thank you.
And our other co-host on a weekly basis is Miss Mackenzie Waters up there. And
hey.
How's things in the Albuquerque area this week?
I mean, I feel like Albuquerque's been on national news, but that's not really what I want to get into right now. Other than the violence, it's been good. I'm back at work, so it's just another kind of major life change after 3 months. So
now,
it's good. Keeping up the PMA.
Not to get into it too much, but they did catch the guy, or charge the guy?
He was arrested immediately. They did add some charges today, which is good. The charges still don't reflect the extent of what happened, in my opinion, and the opinion of other witnesses, but we'll see. We'll see. So far, the victim has woken up in the hospital, so that's good. He's doing better.
And last but not least, every week we try to bring you somebody cool in the music scene to maybe play a couple of songs and join the conversation and help us all figure out better ways to PMA. This week is my dear friend, Mr. Roscoe Wuster. I always screwed up. Wusterwald. And better known now as Augie Birch. Hey, I got that one right.
Yep.
I kept wanting to say age at first, but now
everybody does.
And he formerly Onward Etc., one of my favorite bands. And I will say that young man right there played mine and Tina's first dance on our wedding. So live and in person, right beside us with a guitar. It was pretty rad.
Thanks for having
me. It was.
I think you and Tina should recreate your first dance here.
Yeah,
for
we
everybody.
can make that happen.
We should do that sometime. She's in Denver with our other 3 dogs. She's going to fly tomorrow and meet me in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
So I'm not sure what she's doing tonight, but so Roscoe, what's going on in your world? How are you handling this whole shutdown and what's been going on?
It's been interesting, man. To say the least, it's just like a major blow musically. We aren't even in like conversation about starting up tour in 2021 right now. We don't know when we're gonna get started on that. My booking agency basically is just shut down for the rest of the year. But yeah, it's been a trip. And then like today, I just found out one of my favorite venues in the country, the Outland Ballroom in Missouri, just closed down. They shut their doors for good. So it's just been, kind of one blow after the other. And I'm afraid to say that I think it's probably going to get worse for independent music venues and stuff like that. But I think it's a pretty good opportunity for me in general to write more and to finish up this album that I've been working on for almost 4 years now. So that's finally almost done. But
well, on the PMA side, I've been trying to tell everybody that, especially our amazing musician friends, that I bet we come out of this with a lot of damn cool music, because everybody's been sequestered and
absolutely
doing. Hopefully you've been writing and having fun with that, and we'll hear some amazing observations from a lot of us coming out after.
Definitely.
So, as we return. Every week I like to get everybody introduced, and then I like to beg if Mr. Roscoe would open us up with a song. How about a song, Mr.?
For sure. You ready for it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Well, on that note, this is a song I wrote in quarantine. So this is a brand new song. It's a little different from what I typically write. But yeah, this is just kind of, I feel like when you are in a situation where so many people in the world are losing loved ones and people because of something as threatening as a pandemic, I kind of like to think that we're just going to have a lot more badass people in heaven when we get there, you know? So I called this song Rebels in Heaven. The world is such a crazy place. It's where you learn to live. It's where you learn to hate. And by the end, you lose a couple of friends. We're hanging on by a thread and hope to see them again. Well, old lady is shaking off the dust. 'Cause baby, don't you think we've had enough? Now I know we got a couple of rebels in heaven. Now I'm not so afraid to die. And the world is such a crazy place. You better pull out a knife. You better sharpen the blade. Because we dance with the devil again. You better learn to waltz. You better pick your sins. Oh, lady, I know it don't make sense. But lately, what the hell ever happened? Now I know we got a couple of rebels in heaven. And now I'm not so afraid to die. And the world is such a crazy place. You fill it up with life and piss it down the drain. So wear your favorite dress or suit. We're jumping out of a plane without a parachute. And oh lady, you think we'll make it through? Because baby, I really hope we do. Now I know we got a couple of rebels in heaven. And now I'm not so afraid to die. Yeah, now I know we got a couple of rebels in heaven. Now I'm not so afraid to die. It's such a crazy place.
Ow! Yes,
Thank you.
sir.
Wow,
That was
Doug liked you. He doesn't
absolutely
like a lot of
gorgeous.
things.
that was beautiful, man.
Thank you. I appreciate
Amazing.
that.
That better somehow make it on that new album.
It's not. That's the worst part. It's like I've got the whole new album with like 11 tracks on it right now that's already in mixing and mastering. And I think I'm just going to release that one as a single before the album even comes out. So I'll just release it as kind of like
Please.
a session home recording kind of thing. And then
As long as it's
That'll
released.
work.
thank you.
It looks like the pup liked it.
Yeah, he doesn't like a lot of music, but he liked that. He
There
came
you
out.
go.
He came out of hiding. It was like,
All right. Pup approved.
yeah.
I love it. So the meat of the conversation this week, guys, is what to do. Oh, let's recap last week actually, real quick. Last week we had an amazing talk about body positivity and believing in yourself and accepting who you are for who you are, and that was really intense, but also very what's the word I'm looking for? Very enlightening. After it, we took Tina. I don't, I'm the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this, but I don't like myself really without a shirt or with a tank top or something like that. But I took it. I learned some from it, and we went to the lake to do some kayaking and paddleboarding. And I went pretty much the whole day without my shirt on, and it kind of felt good. I took it, I tried to take some of what I learned to heart, and we are who we are, and it was rad. Unfortunately, we think we might have gotten a bad batch of sunscreen because every one of us got splotchy burnt in weird places. And I haven't really had a sunburn like my chest in a while. So
You're supposed to shake it first.
Yeah, we did. It was really weird. I honestly think we might have got a bad batch because you can see where it worked on everybody that was there. There were 5 or 6 of us, and social distance, but we used the same sunscreen, and every one of us got burned in splotchy places. It was really strange.
Weird.
So the sunscreen might have been good coming out in one spray and not in the next. I can't explain it, but that was that's what we talked about last week, and it was really powerful. What I really wanted to get to this week, and Dan and I talked about it a little earlier, was we are seeing a lot of states start to reopen and a lot of cities start to reopen. And we wanted to try to talk about some tools and cool stuff, how you can handle and be positive in yourself and be positive to make the decision for yourself is what I really like to get past on how it is, how you go forward with the opening, and what is right for you. Dan, what is there an outline of stuff that you had in mind?
To be honest, I don't today. I was letting it kind of be personally a free form, talking about experiences that others have gone through, good and bad within the comments, because we always love that. Just don't have not that I don't have a whole lot, but no layout today. Just kind of free form personally, being out of it. But
We're kind of good at free form.
We are. I'll read what Robin, who was on our Monday chat, sent me. I love the way she put it. We're still grappling with what we lost and the unknowns of what is to come. Whatever it is we may be experiencing as businesses begin to open, folks returning to work, and friends begin to reach out wanting to catch up, please know that your feelings are valid and you're allowed to express yourself, your wants and your needs. No two people responded to the effects of the virus and quarantine the same way. Therefore, no two people are going to respond to the life post-quarantine the same way. We all have different priorities, varying degrees of comfortability, and it will always be okay no matter what. And
Miss Stanton's a very wise lady. I love that young woman.
Yes, I rely on her a lot.
She's, if you guys don't know her, please tune in on Mondays. She's been on a lot of the Monday mental health chats, and she's just phenomenal. And I love every minute when I can get to New York to work with her. And so we love you, Robert. That's all we got to say there. Mackenzie, do you have any insight on what's going on? You just returned to work, so
I did.
What do you see?
Yeah, so for me specifically, I personally don't feel ready to go hang out in a group of people in a public place. But that's fine. Some of us are like that. Some of us need to get back to living their lives, and you want to go see your friends and do your stuff, and all of that's okay. So being back at work, I definitely, yesterday was my first day back, and I definitely appreciated seeing, smiling faces in person. I couldn't see their mouths, we're all wearing masks, but that meant a lot more to me than I thought it would. So that was definitely nice. But I mean, you guys hear me talk about personal autonomy and the importance of that all the time. I think it has a lot to do with my personal life experiences have made me hyper aware of that kind of thing. And essentially it just comes down to what it is that makes you, whether that's inside or more outward. Just, it's weird because we're going through this change again. We've been closed down for 3 months, and now it's starting up, and it was closed long enough for us to get used to it. So now it's all changing. So whatever it is that you need to do to feel like you are living your life or being yourself and staying healthy in that way is great, as long as you're staying safe. So if you are super excited about your favorite restaurant being reopened, please go down, make a reservation, tip in cash. But go see your friends and check in, and just do that. Eat your favorite meal, pick up your favorite pizza, go sit at your favorite bar if your bars are reopened. Just be safe, whatever that you're doing.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing, and this is perspective-wise for Denver. Now we've got a nice little spread across the country in this chat here, but Denver is starting to open. The bars were allowed to open, and they're restricted to how many people can come in, and they're working. Everybody's really scrambling to figure out outside dining or outside areas, and they're like the little bar right up the street from my house, Roscoe, that we've been to.
Oh yeah.
They had a porch already, but they've put in a temporary one to expand it like double the size.
Oh wow.
And I don't know if they borrowed or bought, or I'm hoping borrowed or got donated or something, some patio furniture and stuff, because they've gone 3 months without being able to work. I'm hoping they didn't have to spend money on this said patio furniture, but they've put patio furniture out so people can be there, but at least be separated far enough on tables and outside as much or more than inside. So hopefully that'll give people ways to venture back into life, and yet we can still social distance it somewhat. But as myself, as a extrovert, it's been one of the hardest things of this whole thing was staying home and constant, not being able to go hang out even with strangers and play a jukebox or something like that. So as it starts to do it, we want to really express to do what is right for you. We don't want you to be pressured to go out. Don't be afraid to say no. If you feel safer at home, don't let anybody pressure you into coming out. Your friends, your acquaintances, everybody, if they don't understand that, then they're not real friends. If you don't feel it's right for you, don't do it. If you feel it's right for you, go out, enjoy yourself. Try to remember to wear a mask if you can. Obviously, if you're going to a restaurant, the way they've got them, they're separating. You can't sit at this table. You can sit at this table, and they're spreading them out. You have to wear a mask to go in. But once you sit down, obviously, if you're eating or drinking, you can't be wearing a mask.
That's how it is here too. Yeah.
And that's what it seems like with us. I have to say, and we'll jump over to Roscoe in a second and see what he's seeing on his part of the country, but I drove yesterday and today. I've driven from Denver to Nashville, and unfortunately, and well, fortunately, my best friend Matt's riding with me. He's been self-isolated out in Texas. He's a teacher out in the middle of nowhere between El Paso and Dallas, just in the middle of nowhere. So when he had to teach some classes by the internet, kind of like we're doing here. But other than that, he's literally been sitting by himself in this small town. So I called and said, "Hey, I'm taking a trip to Nashville to drop off the dogs and then up to check on Tina's grandfather. You've been self-isolated. Do you want to come ride with me? I'm not afraid of you getting me or him sick because you're literally the definition of self-isolated out there." He took an amazing job, guys. He went back to school at 30 something to be a teacher, and he took a job teaching 7th grade through. He teaches all social studies from 7th grade to 12th grade at a very small school in the middle of rural Texas. So it's pretty rad. And teachers are unsung heroes, obviously, but it's really cool to see what he's doing. So he's riding along with me, and I'm going to be honest, I am shocked at how little masks are being worn through the Midwest. Gas stations, restaurants, I'm truly shocked. Now, I will say this: a lot of the truckers I've seen have the masks, but other than that, there's not a lot of people wearing them. So, my one plea to you is to wear a mask. It's not for your safety. It's for you passing something to someone else. It's not a control device. I've said this repeatedly every week. It's not the government trying to control you. It's you trying to keep your germs from going out. So
kind of the thing is, 3 months ago when we were talking about the masks and everything, people were rushing to study stuff, but at this point it is scientifically proven that the masks are helping and will continue to help and can possibly prevent the second and third wave of this, which if people aren't wearing masks, we will see. So just wear the mask. Get a cute one, get a Punk Rock Saves Lives one, get a bunch of them. Just, change them out. You can put them with your outfits. I think it's super fun because I get to look like extra badass when I work in fine dining. I get to wear an all black mask and look super cool. When I used to not really be able to express myself how I wanted to,
For sure. I think it's a lot of common responsibility too. Is like if you're not feeling well, like maybe try not to go out. Probably better just to stay home, feel better. Small things like that. Don't be afraid to check your temperature every day if you have to. Just small things like that. But yeah, like you said, in the Midwest, I'm right in Lincoln, Nebraska, in the middle of Nebraska, and the bars scene and restaurant scene is going up to 100% back to normal capacity on a month.
Oh my
There's
God.
a lot of people that are kind of like, there's all these business owners on this hand and we're down with it. There's the other half. So it's interesting to watch unfold here, especially with the protests. It's like, where do we draw the line, and how do we draw it?
Yeah, one of the big arguments I've been seeing is that, when you look at the charts that have come out where other countries were at before they started reopening, they were definitely at a significantly lower rate of transmission than the United States is. And I have an opinion about that, but I'm not super going to get into it. But I feel like one of the arguments is that people do need to learn to live with this right now. There is, and I kind of see that side in some ways too, that things do have to kind of start moving. But there are ways to be safe and allow that to happen, hopefully. I'm sure we've all seen the reports from Jacksonville where I think an entire bar ended up testing positive for COVID one night. So but there are ways to be safe. As long as you're not doing that, you're not showing up to a place that's totally packed with 16 people, none of you are wearing masks, all of you get sick. And then, goes like that. But, if you're going out, just be safe, use the hand sanitizer. I know my restaurant specifically, I think we have like 14 bottles of hand sanitizer placed strategically all around the restaurant, so you can sanitize your hands every 4 feet if you want to.
Yeah.
Just take all of the extra steps, more so than you were before this.
Yeah, I've been helping out with a local microbrewery in town, and they've been doing they're bottling their own.
Nice.
Giving it away to a lot of the restaurants.
Dan can speak for this, Roscoe, but I'm kind of excited, and apparently our dear friends Eric Hauser of Counterpunch have found me a bottle of Malort hand sanitizer.
No
I'll be
way.
working on
Wow.
that too.
That's great.
Right now, Eric, where's mine?
Much props.
Yes, Eric. My love of Malort is kind of semi-famous, and he's kind of, I would say he and Sean and Aaron out in Seattle kind of really got me on the Malort train, and I liked it, and most people don't, but
it's really big in Washington, right?
I have a weird love for Malort too, and that's
I blame Noel for
the
mine.
one thing that calls my name the most. Like I'm pretty strong in my sobriety, but every time I'm in Chicago, I see Malort, and for some reason that's like, should I? And I like have to be like, no, like don't break on Malort. But yeah.
But the Malort company did switch some of their processing to hand sanitizer. It was only available at first to first responders and they were donating it. Now you can get some, and apparently Eric and his wonderful wife Zinni got a case, I believe, but have promised me a bottle, so I'm kind of stoked. As well as the new Malort, they have a whiskey, or is it a? It's not a bourbon. Is it a bourbon? Or?
I think it's a bourbon. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they got me those, so I've either got to drive by Chicago or get them, or chance and hope they don't get broken on the shipping. But I'm kind of stoked more for collectors. I don't think I'll pretty much use it, but
yeah, I want it on my shelf until the end of days. Like that's what I want.
Kind of stoked about that. Roscoe and I've had our encounters with that, and Dan brought it to my bachelor party. Yeah,
that was a great introduction to everyone.
But enough of Malort. Roscoe, what's going on COVID-wise and returning to normal? You said around Lincoln, so
yeah. Well, I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on the reopening of these independent music venues that we are like scarcely going to lose quite a bit.
It's obviously a big deal. We've been able to adapt and continue to hopefully be a force for positive with Punk Rock Saves Lives.
Yeah.
By doing these and putting on the online shows, and the Punk Rock Hoedown went off really, really great, and we've got a lot of great reviews about that. I've done some podcasts around the world, but completely honest, I want to tour again. I miss being out there, and I miss activating, and I miss being with our friend bands and our supporters, and
it's definitely been the hardest thing on my end with everything, is because I was in Europe, I was in Italy a week before they closed the gates down on tour, and then right when I got back to the US, it was like instantly like having a year full of tour setup just gone, and this is the longest gap that I've done in 10-12 years of not touring, and it's just like when I have like those small gaps of not touring, I kind of lose my mind a little bit. But this is like, I don't know what the future of touring is going to look like, if and I kind of feel like in my sense, in what I do musically, being somebody that can do a full band and then can also go out as a solo musician, I'll probably have a little more luck landing shows with reopening, because I can play to those smaller crowds and still get by without having to,
Well, I don't know what's going on in everybody's cities, but Denver, and I learned this through John at Streets, and also with Oriental Theater, the independent venues in Denver are getting permission to reopen with live music as of July 1st, but at a maximum of 50 people.
Okay.
So something like the Oriental with 50 people in it is going to look really, really empty.
Exactly.
And if they're having to book and only book 50 people, I mean, book a band. The talk is the only way a venue can possibly make money is to book a band and have them play a short 1 hour set or something and do multiple shows a night.
Yeah.
So that they have 50 people from 7 to 8. They empty the place. 50 different tickets from.
Do you think ticket prices are just gonna shoot way up?
Absolutely. Supply and demand.
It depends. Yeah, I think prices will go way up if you're going to get the regular 2 hour show or hour and a half shows. I think if they do this model where they're talking about doing a multiple show a night, they might can keep the prices reasonable.
Yeah.
Because they're going to spread it out over, maybe put 150 people through the night instead of 50.
Yeah.
But the artist is going to have to work that much harder.
Exactly.
Yeah, so rather than splitting the entire ticket price of a full venue amongst 4 bands, you're really only giving it to one.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be
with that being said too, like the shaping of touring could be completely different. Like you could play Denver for 5 nights in a row.
Yeah.
And then go to
I think you're going to see more multiple night situations. I'm totally curious because we survive a lot on the festivals, obviously.
Totally.
What will become of that? Dan and I, and I'm sure a lot of other people were rather heartbroken and excited at the same time this week because Riot Fest finally admitted that they're not going to go this year.
Yeah.
But they also announced the first wave of the artists that they've booked for 2021, and it's massive. It's crazy. So depression, and then wow, okay, well, if I wait a year, I'm getting this.
I wasn't even hit that hard. I was so shocked. Most festivals were kind of like this month and next month when it came to large ones, but it's amazing that Riot Fest picked it up the pace, being later in September, to schedule it out, think things through and say, hey, yeah, we're canceling. No one knows yet, but let's do even better and do this. Add the Thursday evening and do so many perks to make 2021 worthwhile. And that was very kind of them to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm excited.
We're going to step
they're
up.
First class individuals anyway. Riot Fest is, I'm not kissing anybody's ass. They've been absolutely wonderful to me with Love, Hope, Strength, and now with Punk Rock Saves Lives. Fantastic organization. Always give us a platform. Always support us. Give us enough volunteer passes that we can really activate and do some good. So cheers to them. There is still a question on the fest in Gainesville.
Yeah.
Florida has opened more than anywhere else, but then again, they also have had a snapback in cases.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still waiting. That is obviously early October, correct?
End of October.
End of October.
What I do like that Fest did is because by the time they were, this was already happening by the time they typically announced their lineup. And so they did come out and say, we're going to make sure everything is 100% refundable. So that was kind of nice. So, it's kind of like no loss if it doesn't happen. But what concerns me is even if Florida's open, like you guys were saying, there's another music festival happening in Florida. I wonder which bands would even be willing to participate. It's like which bands are going to cancel because they don't feel comfortable playing.
Very true.
Well, we have seen a lot of people that I've seen and bands, especially because we're surrounded by them and we work with them, a lot of them have expressed very exciting about the fest. So now we will have to wait and see. There's another festival in Florida that Punk Rock Saves Lives was just invited to the week after Riot Fest was supposed to happen, called Rebel Rock or something like that. I've never done this festival before, but the lineup is pretty big and it's a lot of rock bands, but especially our Mackenzie, you'd be happy to know that our Anti-Flag Boys are on the date. Now, whether or not they can be there to play it, but we have been invited to be there. It's a Saturday and a Sunday fest, and it was to take place the week after what Riot Fest was. So if they go forward with it, we have to take the gamble to get out there and try to do some good in the world? We've got to figure that all out, and that's what's, like we're trying to tell everybody out there in America that's watching, and not even America, everywhere. I forget I went from being I went from being a charity that could only operate in America to now being one that we want to do the world, and we want to help everybody. So I got to get used to that mindset. But we've got to make that decision. You've got to make that decision for yourself. And like I've said, just don't be pressured. Do it on your speed. That is the main key there. We've been kicking it along here for a little bit. Hopefully we've given everybody some information. But like I like to do before I transition to other stuff, Mr. Roscoe, would you pleasure us with another song, sir?
Yeah, buddy. No problem.
All right.
I'll play one that will actually be on the new record.
Ooh, sneak preview.
This is a newer one as well. This one's a little more. I had to kind of fall back into the Onward style of music a little bit on this record, but this one's called The Drifter. His boots, they smothered the embers, and it became a darker night. The dimly glowed moon overhead was his only source of light. So he lit his lamp with his last match as he wandered through the pine. Where he would go, no one would know as he drifted through his life. Well, he drank all the others under as he twirled his furrowed brow. The mud in his teeth and the dust in his feet dragged the common man on down. But they all knew that he once loved. They could tell that he gave it down. As he stumbled away, he was lit through his days with the face of a lonely man. Said, there is no heaven for me, there is no hell below. Looks like my only destination is a place I'll never know. My way may be different from yours, you can live yours as you choose. But all that I've got is the skin on my back, I ain't got much else to lose. So he fled to the Smoky Mountains, and he hid in the hills above. He hung up his rope of answers, carved in the names of the ones he loved. And the crowd all revealed its guess now, as the crowd had searched him out. There was a burst of applause. The crowd was applauded, the bandit played him out. They go la 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 la.
below. Looks like my only destination is a place I'll never know. My way may be different from yours. You can live yours as you choose. With all that I got is the skin on my back. I ain't got much else to lose.
Woo! That was
Yeah.
awesome. I can't wait for that
Nice.
record.
I turned off the
Jeez.
AC for this thing, and now I'm just like sweating bullets. Yeah, that one's a little more rocking.
Now I'm back.
That's
That boy,
great.
good. Yeah,
That's
there we
great.
go.
Thank you.
Roscoe, that's fantastic. I can't wait for the new album. Turning a little more serious, and it's all serious, but this has been a couple of 3 to 5 weeks now of incredible outpouring and turning and changing and exposing and our people of color and Black Lives Matter, the protest. We want everyone to keep on the gas. Mackenzie, what's a couple of good ways you think for people to keep pushing? We want to keep making change for positive.
I think that right now specifically, I think we've gotten kind of lucky in that we're seeing change happen everywhere. It's kind of small and incremental change, but we're seeing things work. And I think that that's been really great to help people inspired during all of this to keep showing up and all that. And that's, I mean, I keep saying each day is just as important as the last. And so let's just keep pushing until we get closer to the change that we want to see. There was one of the city councilmen in Albuquerque did a survey over the weekend of like 10,000 people on how they feel about police reform, and the numbers weren't where I would like to see them. There were a bunch of questions. They just released the results, and numbers weren't where I would want them personally for me. But a month ago, it would have been so much different, and I just know that. So it's kind of awesome seeing cities actually put kind of plans in place to do something different than just police forces. So keep it on the gas because it is working.
Yeah.
I like, we took that from that meme that someone put up a few weeks ago, and we've kind of kept that theme running of keeping on the gas, because
I think it works great.
Yeah, and the protests have not stopped. It's incredible. Go join. Be peaceful. Power to the peaceful. I recommend. I put up something the other day on my personal page. I've gotten a lot more vocal. I have this platform. I'm lucky that I'm now, I guess, one of the faces of this and of Punk Rock Saves Lives. And bottom line, I believe in equality, and that is across the board. We are completely behind the Black Lives Matter movement, and that's because for you out there that believe the all lives matter, all lives can't matter if Black lives don't matter. So please think about that. If you can't follow that and we're not the right group for you, we understand that.
That's not a political issue. That's a morality issue.
Yes.
I just want to kind of clarify that just in case.
Yeah, I've been standing, and I'm sure you guys have seen it, and a lot of the people watching on my personal page, I've been probably more vocal about this than ever. I've always been an anti-racist, but sometimes because of the position I was in my other nonprofit and stuff like that, because we had to get everybody we could to help fight cancer, but so sometimes I didn't say what was on my mind, but it wasn't my platform completely there either. I'm trying to really get it out there on what I feel like, and I'm sorry if I've ruffled anybody's feathers, but I'm not going to change. It's I'm proud to be coming out of a cloud and trying to do my best to move, learn, take away any biases that I have, even though I try not to have any. We all inherently have biases, and I try to learn something every day. Talk to people. That has become, don't argue. I got to put this in the right light, because right now everybody wants to argue. We've got to talk. We can't learn. We can't help. We can't do if we don't learn to discuss, not disgust each other. Does that make sense? Kind of a weird. It's been kind of scary to see some of the stuff, some of the vitriol that comes out of people's mouths, and social networking give those platforms, and it's tough. It's tough to swallow sometimes. You can try to talk. You can try to say, "Hey, why are you saying that? Can we talk?" I'm trying to learn that. I get mad sometimes and just cut someone and drop them, whatever. Maybe I could have educated. Maybe I could have had a talk with them and see if we could figure out a way that maybe they would open their mind a little to talk to someone that could give them their experience to see if they would learn. But then again, there are people that sometimes you just got to cut, folks. Negativity in our lives is dangerous. It's hard on your body. It's really hard on your mind, and it's not something we should put up with. So if you do find that even if you've done what you can to educate, to talk to discuss, and it's still, hatred and vitriol and just bad, cut it. It's not, you can do more good by working on others than the person that, I don't want to say everybody's lost, but sometimes you just got to let people go, and it's better for you. Negative, Dan, I know, has talked about this. Negative people in your life can cause a lot of heartache and a lot of stress on your brain, right, Dan?
Very much. I know it even goes back to one of our very first sessions with Shelby and Nathan. I remember Shelby bringing up on the social media aspect to just step away from certain people if you need. The understanding that if they are true friends, true family, more than anything, that they'll understand, and it's needed now more than ever.
Yeah. So, like Mackenzie said, this is not politics. This is morality. I've said it since I was young. I don't care what color you are. If you get cut, we all bleed red. We are all human, and you've got to. If we can't be one race, or not race, one humankind, what are we doing this for? You know what I mean? There's not. It's a learned behaviors. We're not born with those. So that also tells us that you can learn to accept and to be compassionate. And that I've kind of posted a few times, like I said, I'm being a lot more vocal than I have been in the past. I'm not patting myself on the back. I'm learning through this, and my voice needs to come out. I want it free, and but it also puts focus that I have to improve myself to improve for everybody else. So that's a powerful statement. Roscoe, do you have anything that you've noticed through this that could help people or keep on the gas?
It's just such an emotional thing for everyone to have witnessed this and seeing people's emotional sides kind of take over. But I really appreciated and thought it was kind of beautiful how quickly these protests turned peaceful when they could have gone a different direction, like some have in the past, like that. There's still clashing going on and things like that, but it's nice to see a lot of the good side of this protest, like you said, Mackenzie. Like it's shining a lot of light on a lot of things, and things are happening. We're seeing things actually happening come out of these gatherings. So yeah, I think it's important to keep at it. Do what you can to help one another out. Be kind to your neighbor. Just take care of each other.
It seems so simple.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping.
And like you said too, I've had a really hard time with the whole blast of trying not to just cut people out right away when something happens that I disagree with. Like I think it is kind of our duty to try to help educate and try to help push them in the right direction. But yeah, I totally understand and agree with the fact that there are people that be taken lives, and it's tough, but part of living. Everyone's got their own opinion and freedom to do it. Not all going to agree, but we can do our best to keep marching in the right direction.
Well, I love those ideas. I think we're pretty close to wrapping up for this week. We're going a little shorter, but it's been a powerful discussion. So I want to always give people time to digest that and go out in your world and make something better. Even if it's just meeting someone on your block that you've never met. Maybe you can discuss something and you can help come up with a plan to make your block better. And if we all make our blocks better, we're making life better. And it's always easier said than done, but make an attempt, do something. Stand for someone that might not be able to stand for themselves, or if they're standing for themselves, give them the support that they need. This is the Black Lives Matter movement time. We need to be supporters. We don't need to be agitators. We don't need to be support them. Stand between them and the people that are yelling at them. Let them lead the way. And let's learn and be allies and be true. Be you. Learn. Learning is just such a beautiful, beautiful sentiment, and it's a powerful sentiment. Let's go. I'm going to close with a question in a second to each one of us to give some people something, but let's start with Mackenzie. What do you have? What can people do this week? What's one point that you want to do?
1 point. My 1 point is always drink your water. That's that. Please drink water. Just.
I think you stole dance.
The voices of the oppressed.
We always go back and forth.
Yeah. He stole it from me first. Fine, I'm taking it back.
Okay.
Always
with
water,
me.
So, yeah.
Roscoe,
water,
1 point.
Amplify voices.
I think
amplify voices.
From me personally, the most healing thing for me is to just really kind of step away from the social media and just take a day and spend it completely engulfed in nature and just try to get away from everything for a day, clear your mind. It'll clear your soul, help your heart, and it'll get you, like, if you're feeling like you're feeling depressed or anything like that, then that's always been my cure, is just to get out in nature.
That made me click back to a story about you from the Miller Brothers, and on your Rusted Root tour, where you were on your way to a show, and all of a sudden you said, "Pull over, pull over!" You jumped out of the van and ran out in the woods for a few hours.
Yep.
You almost missed the show, but you came back a better man. So
I had to do it, and sometimes I just have to go get wild in the woods,
I hope the Miller boys are doing good. I haven't seen them in a while. It's been
I haven't either. I miss them. I hope I can make it out to Denver and come visit y'all soon.
We should do that. Dan, what's a big push this week, buddy?
Man, if you're not accepting yet with everything happening, it's completely okay. It's okay to still grieve. Everyone is doing their best they can right now. Be more understanding. Simply, I love what Jenny said, which was, when you're not sure what to do, you can never fail by being kind.
I'll do my closing like I do every week after this, but one question to give people something for the week. Roscoe, what is one band that people should go check out this week that they might not have checked out before? What's turning your gears? What's turning your gears?
This is tough, dude. I've been on a massive Andrew Bird kick lately.
Andrew's a wonderful artist.
A genius behind every instrument that he picks up, and he's been pretty much on my radio for the past month. He's been who I've been checking out.
So Andrew Bird, check out that, guys. Might not be punk rock, but the talent is unbelievable, and it might touch your soul. So please check that out. Mackenzie, is there a band that people should check out?
I have been completely obsessed with Destroy Boys for a few days now. Band I'd kind of forgotten about for probably a year and popped up on a playlist, and they're amazing. Female band mostly, and just totally awesome. Kind of some chill vibes, some like rock and super punk vibes. I'd say check them out.
Love it. Dan, what's kicking in your iPod or in your mind?
I've got 3 because they have been a top for me lately that I would love a tour out of one day, and that is Murder by Death, who I know a lot of us know and love very much. The Devil Makes 3, and Amigo the Devil. I've been on a kick of all 3 lately, and just
phenomenal.
Pure greatness between all of them lyrically and instrumentally. Highly recommend every single one. And Builders and Butchers, David Riddle. Yes.
I love them.
I have not had the pleasure of meeting Amigo the Devil yet, but I can tell you Devil Makes 3 and
Murder by
Death are all quality individuals and amazing people.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
If you don't think punk rock and banjos go together, I think you're mistaken. So
on the punk rock side
beauty is in punk adjacency. I think that's where a lot of my favorite stuff lives now.
On a punk note, what I've been mainly listening to in the punk realm is a band called Pup.
Yes, also awesome.
Yes.
I can't get enough of those guys, man.
Canada.
They just toured with Screaming Females, and if you guys don't listen to Screaming Females, you are incorrect and need to fix it.
Hell yeah.
So there's some push for you this week. I'm obviously going to throw, and they're because supporters of us, and whether you agree with what they're saying or not, listen to the new Anti-Flag. It really will bring you some clarity and some thoughts and some information, as well as rocking. On a completely different note, Mr. Jarrett Reddick from Bowling from Soup has joined Punk Rock Saves Lives on his own. He saw us online somehow, ordered a shirt. We didn't send it to him, and he's been wearing it on all of his live streams and posting about us. And he said he thought the idea of the shirt was cool, and when he got the shirt, he actually checked out the charity and loves what we're doing. So support great people that are. He searched us out. You know what I mean?
Sorry, my dog's bark.
Yeah, same thing. I sitting inside with my friends, and I'm going to get back to them in just a second. They were talking wrestling, and it kind of started with talking about Bowling for Soup because they have a song about a wrestler, and she's in the video and everything. If you're into that world, please check out our friend Ruby Riot. She's come on and wants to give her voice to Punk Rock Saves Lives and her platform with WWE, and it's pretty huge. And when and if they start doing the full shows again and she gets to do intros and everything, I know for a fact she has some of our patches on her jacket now, so that's pretty rad.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Kind of cool pulling us across some different genres, because punk rock is all about different genres. It's all about different people, outcasts, turning something into something new and using it to change the world. And that's what we stand for, and I believe it. As I say every week, I love every one of you. It's tough. Our friends and our family and our acquaintances put us through the ringer. It's part of life. like I said before, please listen to each other, talk to each other, educate each other, and remember you had this person in your life for a reason at one point, and that reason can possibly be melded or put together or figured out. But if it's not, then you both walk away, and other than just not seeing each other, talking to each other, you just leave it at that. It's either time to work together or kind of let them go their way. I hate that, but it does happen. Everybody, I want you to be strong, stand up, do what you have to do to enter back into life. Don't rush into it if you don't want to. Some of us need to get back out there. Some of us need to work, and we get that. So just be safe, be smart. I'm going to say it. Dan, Mackenzie, Roscoe, I love you guys. And I want to really push, and this is a tough one for me that I'm learning, and that's why I've been forcing myself to do this every now. Guys, tell your guy friends you love them. That's a tough one. It's something we weren't. If you were raised like I was, that wasn't part of it. You know, you didn't tell guys you loved them. Well, you know what? I love you, and I'm learning that, and I'm going to try to make the world a better place for each and every one of you. So let's live by example. Be a positive force in the world. Love y'all. I hope you all have an amazing week. We will see you next Wednesday right here. Working on the guest right now. I might have somebody playing drums. Oh, my band for the week. I forgot. Besides Anti-Flag. Not tomorrow.
Sorry, I forgot to ask.
Tomorrow's Thursday, but Friday. 4 of the most amazing women in rock and roll have a new album out. Bad Cop, Bad Cop. Download it. Listen to it. Be part of that mission. It's incredible. And it's this week. Stacy D, Lynn Lee, Myra, and I'm leaving out Jenny. Look at that. Amazing people and amazing artist. Roscoe, thank you for playing music for us this week. Everybody, please go like Augie Birch, and that's AAGE Birch, like the tree. Like him, buy his music, get that new album out so we can all buy it. Buy a t-shirt.
And the single.
Yep.
You have some merch out there, right? There's some t-shirts, hats.
Yeah, I've got a merch store up online right now. I can drop a comment in later. You can find it on my Facebook page as well.
Yep. Please support the amazing artists that are helping us continue our mission to try to change the world through punk rock.
Thanks
we love you all. Have an amazing night, guys. Cheers.
You guys.
Take care.